Hey guys, welcome to another hobo video. This one's gonna be a little more serious and a little harder to get through because it's a very serious video. And as much as I'd love to keep joking through and make people smile, there's some things people need to know. This video is regarding suicide, and immediately when people hear that word and taste that word on their mouth, it leaves bad, bitter taste all the time, and it's hard to talk about, but people need to know. I've had a lot of experience with suicide. I've nearly committed suicide myself. Um, Another thing is, I've had a lot of friends nearly commit suicide, and I've talked a lot of people down from suicide before, and I shouldn't have to do that, as when I'm 18 and under, but it is a very real thing, and I did have to do that, and it's just sad that it's so common. But when you're feeling that low and that down, there's an emotional scale. There's 0 to 10, 0 being suicide, 1 being quasi-suicidal, meaning like if you get hit by a car, you're fine, and then 2 being sad, 3 being sad, 4 being, as they're going less sad, and then 5 being normal. Most people have around between a 4, 5, and 6, and that's kind of where the emotional thing is. But when people are feeling that low, around a 1 and a 2 and a 0, they start cutting and they start making bad decisions. Now, I've never realized it, and I've never cut or been there, but when it comes to cutting, apparently it's a way to stop your emotional pain by replacing it with physical pain, and I can't see how that works. I'm sorry for those of you that do, but I just want to kind of say this to everyone who's feeling really down and really low and really depressive, um, that suicide and such, it's not, it doesn't eliminate the possibility of life getting worse. It eliminates the possibility of life getting better. And I really want to put that point across to you guys that these things are very important to know, and life does get better. When you're suicidal, you're very short-sighted, and if you're going on and you're suicidal right now, please keep listening to this video, um, and get to talking to people. I can't talk to you, I can't help you from here. I want to, but I can't. Talk to others, talk to friends. That's the one thing, is communication. Is when people start thinking about suicide and when they're that deep into emotions, what they do is they draw into themselves and they stop talking to others and they slowly fade away. And a big temptation that's going through your head is when you're fading away that no one will notice, and then you'll just disappear one day and no one will notice and no one will care. I'm here to tell you that is dead wrong. There's nothing correct about that statement. You start fading away, maybe no one notices that you're fading away. But when you're disappearing, everyone notices. I'm sad to say that society is like that and they only notice things when people do drastic things like this. But they notice and they feel a lot of pain. And suicide is a very, very selfish way and very selfish act to commit. It's not it's not thinking of others a lot. And how I always get out of it when I'm suicidal is I always think of my friends and family, when how they would feel afterwards. Most people don't think of that. They think, oh, I'm just gonna disappear one day and it'll all be over and everything's gonna be better. And to those who are that low, that's just simply not true. I've my family and everyone and my friends, if anything, when they've gotten so close or they've attempted it and failed, everyone immediately gathered around. There's so much love going through, and some people were very, very prideful about everything, and they just refused to believe that anyone would love them. But so many people came around to it and came around to them that they actually ended up seeing how much people really do love them. And there's a lot of people out there, you may not even see it right now, but there is a lot of people out there that really do love you, and they're there for you. So please go talk to people, talk to each other, talk to everyone, get it all out. The worst you can do with bad feelings and ideas is keep them in your head and just let them sit there and fester and make everything worse. Don't hold bad stuff in like that. Whenever you're feeling down or horrible like that, don't just keep it to yourself. Please go out and talk to people. And also, when it comes to different ways to um, try and fade away from people, it's not just those people who are depressed, but it's us as everyone else. And I hate to create a schism between everyone, but it's true. There's those that are that low and those that are kind of on the normal keel. Um, when it comes to us on the normal keel, it is our job to notice those who are starting to fade away and to pick them back up. It is our job to reach out and spread that light to them where darkness is converging in, because it's very hard for them to reach out. It was very hard for me to reach out and talk to people. I'm so glad that eventually I did, but it was very, very hard to. And it's a lot to expect from someone who's feeling that low. It's our job to notice and look out for others. It is a very personal matter, but it also needs to be talked about. It's something that's not entirely um, covered a lot, and I think it should be covered in stuff like health class and other things, because that is a very pertinent part of our society, sadly. But we need to reach out to those. We need to be vigilant and see those who are fading away and talk to them. And then another thing when it comes to suicide is when they're that low, there's a lot of stuff going through their head, and most of it is negative. And when I was there, you get very, very short sighted. You can't get short sighted because you think life's never going to get better, and so what's worth trying? Stuff like that. It's very hard for people to grasp that life will get better. Most people think short sighted. If I remember, I did a little experiment on myself when I was that low, and I only looked maybe 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time, and some people can't even look a day ahead of time, and especially when things get that low. And you guys gotta realize it's going back to the old days to when we were sick. A nap fixes everything, but it's kind of true. The next day, when you go go to sleep and wake up the next day, you can feel like a completely different person. You can feel new and energized, and like you can take the world on again. So even if you can't give it a couple weeks, when you're that low, just give it a day, and then just give it another day. And you'll notice, if you're really looking for it, you'll notice the little blessings of life getting just a bit better and a bit better. And please just keep going. Life does get better. Life's hard, but there's a lot of joy to look at it. There's a lot of people that aren't finding a lot of joy out there. And they're just living, and life's hard, and they get very bitter, and they spread darkness around others in forms of hate and gossip and such, because they're having such a hard time. They're not finding joy. From my experience, finding true joy is, again, being very social and talking to others, and having that human interaction, having that joy. That's for me, but for other people, it can be anything. I also like to create stuff. I get a lot of joy from creating and being artistic. Another person I know, uh, there's all sorts of little natural highs, is what they're called. There's runner's high, there's exerciser's high, which I can never get because I'm not really that much of a physical being. I don't physically do a lot of stuff, but there's also all sorts of good highs to come off of. There's artist highs and creation highs, which I live off of. There's helper's high, which is getting someone through something hard and experiencing that with them, and then having them just say thank you afterwards. It's not a prideful thing. It's not, oh, I did this and I did this, but it just feels good to know that I was able to help someone, which is why I do these videos. It feels good to make, if this helps anyone, or if this makes anyone smile, even if it's just one person in however many billion there are on this planet, it's worth it to me because it made one person smile, or it helped one person. And another one is teachers high, and they just love teaching certain things to kids and everyone else and mentors and stuff. And when they hear the kid go, "Oh, I get it now," they get a small little joy, a small little high from that. There's a lot of natural highs out there. I remember seeing this commercial about a year back that I absolutely loved, and it said, it it just showed examples of random small highs where like a biker's high or something, and it said find your high. It's really cool, and I honestly believe that everyone has their own little talent that they're really good at. There's something you're really good at. And it's not negative. Whenever I ask this to most people, they're like, "Oh, I'm really good at pissing people off or something, or I'm really good at making people mad." No, I'm talking about there's positive things. You could be really good at sports, or you could be really good at talking to people, or you could be really, really good at art, or you could be really, really good at math. It's almost like you're so good that to other people you're almost a little weird about it. Okay, follow those talents, follow those things. If you lose joy, that's how you discover yourself. You just go out and find other things, try out new things. If you like it, do it. If you don't, you don't have to. You try it. That's okay. Uh, just keep moving on. Keep finding those things that bring you joy, please, because there is a lot of darkness in the world, and it's very hard to fight through. There's a lot of people out there that need us and um, that need our help, that are struggling in that bottom part of life. And I'm sorry that life has to be this way, but I want to help out. I want you guys to help out as much as possible. Please share this video everywhere you can to help those that are feeling down. Also, it's just it's just that there's so much more out there, and there's so much more ahead of people, and I absolutely love it to death. I love living life. I call life an adventure for a reason. And this darkness may be suffocating, but the way I see it is it's all potential light and it's all potential joy. We just have to work through it. And so, with that being said, please, guys, enjoy the adventure of life. Don't be afraid to jump back and laugh at yourself for weird predicaments you get into. Just enjoy life as it is. Enjoy the adventure. Enjoy how unpredictable it can be. And um, keep moving forward and spread jight because the world needs it.